Before we go into MVCI Beyond, let me give y'all a little story about my history with this game. I've always grown up playing fighting games. I adored them for the cool characters, the music, the way they play. I've always adored them. But the first time I really got deep into competitive fighting games was after Justin Wong's Evo run with his amazing Akuma in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Me and my homies watched Evo for the first time, and every summer we made sure those 3 days was just our 3 days. We watched Evo with multi-stream up the whole weekend. Fast forward to September 19th, 2017, every day went downhill. On some Avatar shit when the Capcom Nation flopped attacked. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was the game that, growing up, I was like, yo, I want to be pro in this game. I'm going to show y'all something. I got proof. Hear me out. Here's my first ever controller that I bought for fighting games. A Hori Rap 5 or Rap V if you heard somebody else say this. I keep this because even though I don't play stick anymore, this just reminds me of a time where I really was going to try hard and try to become a pro in fighting games. I was going to grind this out every day. I even got proof of me streaming it around the time if I can pull that up for you guys. And as I was streaming it every day, I started noticing more and more people started not coming on to the game. Less people was queuing up. And it got to a point to where I waited 10 minutes for matches and it just died. Like, I never seen a game die in front of my eyes like that. And it was the most heartbreaking experience I've ever had to deal with in the history of fighting games. Something I really love but nobody else likes. That fucking hurts, man. That is like the worst thing you can deal with. And MVCI wasn't shy of its controversies. Y'all remember the ugly odd Chun-Li phase, or just them not having X-Men in the game, hurting it off rip before it even came out. But at the time I didn't know better, so I just packed the game up and deleted it, and next thing we know, I just didn't talk about it again. I will not shy away from it and say Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has some of my favorite gameplay out of the whole entirety of Marvel vs. Capcom. However, it looked too ugly and nobody else wanted to play it. It was at that point where I was getting clowned for saying I liked MVCI. Shit jumped even. But Maximillian comes back in 2024 and changes a lot of things with one of the biggest, most ambitious mods in the history of fighting games. With the amount of money he put into this project, created and worked on with a whole bunch of different artists, to graphic designers, to riggers, to everybody that can be doing something amazing for the love of the game. $30,000 on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond. That's crazy. I generally love Max because that's something I would do for a BB tag. Regardless of that, seeing content creators using their work and energy and money to fuel passion projects and people just generally just respecting and loving it and very hype about it, I think it's God tier. Okay, this video get a fucking 10 out of 10. I'm making this video, alright? It is important that I make this video. So this is my first time ever me reviewing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond mod by Maximillian crew and everybody else in between involved. But before we get into it, we gotta teach you how to download and install this hoe. So number one, you need to already have Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite installed. Like, it's not a whole new game, bro. Max ain't Capcom himself, my guy. Like, step one, unzip the file and do not rearrange any set of the files in the file. I didn't read the directions, I did that, and I fucked some shit up the first time. Open Steam, right click on your MVCI installation and select browse local files. Remove any previous betas or mods associated with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond. Obviously, it's a mod tailored to make the game overhaul, y'all. So if something doesn't work, take out the old mods, restore cache. Y'all know how to use Steam. Y'all, I'm just new out here, okay? Maximillian and the crew even said Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond has not been tested with any other mods, by the way. So don't get cooked. Just run a fresh install. Then you drag and drop the unzip MVCI folder from step 2 in this location. Your operating system will automatically merge the new files. Then you can play, then you can enjoy. All right, first time turning it on, it hit me with this strong, like almost teary-eyed feeling. I wish I would have recorded it with my camera, but you come on, you hear this very like MVCI inspired or Marvel vs. Capcom inspired track, but it has this like late 90s, early 2000s Capcom sound to it, but with this heavy guitar, rockish undertone, and it just makes me smile. I just like chiptune and like Capcom sounding instrumentals, all that. It is beautiful off rip. I wish I can describe music better. I'm not really that inclined like that at that point. Then you come to the main menu and you get into the game. You see all this crazy artwork from so many different various artists. And I'll be honest with you, Max just like me for real. I mean, I'm heavily just the black Max.
Stop the cap.
I'ma stop. Regardless, I will say the artwork has this very like cool stylized modernistic look to it that I really just love about it so much, bro. Personally, I'm a big fan of any art style that looks like Hungry Clicker or any acrylic, water paint, and hard brush, anything that is in that realm and like with hard lines and strokes a lot of times. I love it. Maybe I'm describing it wrong. I'm also not artistically inclined to explain things that well that way, but that's off of memory what I believe. First things first, I turned on the mod and I went straight to mission mode because I want to feel something. I need to feel them combos. And I tried out a lot of characters, again, that I haven't played in almost 7 years of this game. First character I tried is Monster Hunter. I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. You know, huge Monster Hunter fan. I got into Monster Hunter around 3 Ultimate. And the way they made her look almost got me crying. I took the hat off for that one, man. My hair all ugly. I don't care. I need to be free. I then tried like Captain Marvel a little bit. I've tried Dante, oh my God. There's no fighting game player character that plays like Dante in 2024, bro. He combos feel so sad. So I feel like I'm playing DMC3 all over again, dog. So much sauce. And then I did something that I thought I said I would never be able to do in history. My favorite fighting game character in history is the character I could not play my whole life. That goes out to Chun-Li. I've been a fan of Chun-Li since the birth. Chun-Li color, her energy, the way she moves. I love everything about that type of fighting with that character. Chun-Li is so gas to me. I'm a Chun-Li glazer if y'all gonna call me that in the comments. Just get it out the way now. When this game came out, sadly to say, I could not do Trial 3 of MVCI. For some reason, charge inputs are very weird in concept because when you learn how to do charge moves, you do them differently compared to how you do them with just regular motion inputs. You just do the motion, you let go, but sometimes it's easier to buffer to get into the next phase of the combo you need to do or the next charge move you need to do in the combo. So sometimes you have to rewire your brain like, all right, I did this, let me hold this button and then get to release to the next one. I finally did it last night. I popped the hell off. I think the gods in heavens could hear me. I screamed so loud I had to go to bed. Me doing that was crazy. I strongly do believe as you play more fighting games or as you grow older, you get better at some things because you have more patience for them. I know it's a whole thing about like getting older, losing reflexes and stuff like that. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Daigo's still cooking. He don't even playing that like that. But next, we got to talk about the new offline single player content in this game. There is 3 new ways to play MVCI and beyond offline this time in this mod. Number 1 is Cross Frenzy. When you start up the game on the main menu, you have to hit F1. Cross Frenzy is a crazy multiplayer mode with 4 players on the screen at all times. It is with simultaneous 2v2 gameplay. Think of it similar to Super Smash Bros. With the teams and battle. Guilty Gear Isuka, if you remember that game. And y'all know I'm a Street Fighter Cross Tekken Glazer. Just stay on the screen all the time. Now, when I played this mode for the first time, this mode, and I finally got to see the character select screen. I never really thought about the character select screen until I look at it, but all the art on here is God tier, by the way. I finally hop in. I'm like, okay, I'm about to cook. It's about to be me versus my CPU, and the CPU was not smoothing at all. He was getting cooked. I was like, help me. I'm getting jumped. Help me. The second multiplayer mode, that's the one I was having the most fun with, baby. To go into these modes, you have to relaunch and start the game though. But for the second one, it's Single Frenzy. This time, your controller controls both characters on your team. This mode's hype as hell just playing it like this because it's chaotic and it's crazy and it may not be the best manner because a lot of characters have similar just basic BNB routes. But like, imagine they had a tournament like this. I would love to see how somebody would run Zero and like some other character because he would be kind of fucking complicated to do that in a Single Frenzy tournament. But in this mode, I got this cool confirm with like Jetta Strider. It felt like I was doing like a delayed hyper combo, a DHC, or some tag-in super shit that was like crazy. It didn't even look like it, but it felt really good to do, even if I was just messing around. Next mode is Cross Fever. Cross FIFA. It's traditional MVCI gameplay, but every person on the team now controls a character. I don't know if this 100% works online. I don't even recommend trying it. I recommend you using Parsec for this if you want to play it. However, the way it works is similar to Parsec, where you just have to make sure whoever joins on the right side of the game. Essentially, player 1 joins, they have to hit a button, player 2 joins, they have to hit a button, and then so on and so on, and that's how you get everybody synced into the game. The only problem with Cross FIFA is that it works on default controls. So if you don't play default controls, you just shit out of luck. You're gonna either have to learn them or just don't play this mode right now until they iron out those bugs and kinks. And then we got to talk about the huge big thing about this patch, the community balance patches to MVCI Infinite and Beyond. It's redundant that I keep saying I and Infinite and Beyond because it's already the I and I'll be Infinite. If you haven't played the game since 7 years ago, most of these balance patches probably won't even matter to you till you play the base game to some extent. But you can play these patches and see what they're doing to it all together. Just to let y'all know, if you just one of those people that just generally just think I really like how MVCI looks and you don't want to do the Beyond variant of the visual mod, you can download this mod by itself as well. Essentially, just to run this down for everybody that may be watching this video, like what is the balance patch really doing? It's just making the game less degenerate and adding a little bit more depth instead of crazy shit to the game. I mean, like the game's already crazy as hell, but like don't get it twisted, they're just essentially making gameplay feel way better with some of the patches they did add to this game. The biggest thing in this mod in terms of gameplay is that specific move scaling changes. We want to adjust some of the game's more degenerate, frustrating, and safe tools. As a community patch, however, we want to respect the folks who have been playing this game for 7 years. In order to do that, we're adjusting the combo starter scaling of several tools. To be clear, none of the properties of these moves are changing. They'll just make you combo do a little less damage if you start your combo with them. This means the players who continue to get most of their hits with these tools will need about one more hit to kill a character. Their goal is to promote more interactive play and encourage more accurate callouts. Previously, there was often no difference between starting a punch with a fast full screen safe on block projectile or dashing up and hitting your opponent with a raw launcher. Why challenge with zeros through HP when you could DP instead? Now the options that require more accuracy carry more risk and allow your opponent more counterplay and neutral to do more damage. And pretty much almost 75%, maybe 90% of the roster in these community balance patch notes for MVCI Beyond, they all got some changes, essentially. Basically, outside of, I think, Frank Rest, Chris, Iron Man, and Monster Hunter. Lastly, now that we have a visual mod, a lot of the story mode will be ironed out to look visually even better and more appealing, but it's not all the way ironed out, so please stay tuned if you see some weird or crazy glitches happening. Report it to Max and them, bro. Just do that. Also, on Steam, when I took a screenshot of this game went from less than like 100 people. I seen it at some points at 21 people playing MVCI to almost 1,000 off rip. If anybody can rebirth life into a game, it has to go to Maximillian. And not only Maximillian, the community, the creatives, and everybody else involved has pushed this game tenfold. And this is not the end of MVCI and Beyond. There will be more patches, more updates coming to the game. Maximillian will be stepping off to become a content creator again. And yeah, you gotta focus on that, while other people will still be updating this mod as time goes. And I'm sure Max will update us and talk about it as well into the future. I know they probably have a hard time adding characters in because of how the game code and infrastructure work, and they probably had to get that from Capcom, which they probably gonna say hell no. If they do, can you give me like Amaterasu and throw Nico in there, Nero, you know, that'd be nice. But that being said, I have to say this patch has been one of the biggest patches I've ever seen for the history of a fighting game. I admire content creators, like I said earlier, going after their passions for games they love and being able to do things for them in ways that nobody else can imagine. And I appreciate Maximillian bringing one of my favorite fighting games to life, and also one of his as well. I believe that Marvel vs. Capcom needs a new game in its industry. It's been 7 years at this point. Please, I hope we get to see a new one in the future. Marvel vs. Capcom is doing very strong across the board as well. But I don't know, man. Will you try out MVCI and Beyond? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit the like button on this video. And make sure you follow me on Twitch, because I'll most likely, if I can get this video out, streaming the whole story mode as well. So if you guys are golden, that is Raw, and I'm out. Peace.
Let's see who's stronger.